guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Maggie Yvonne if you're new. If you are a returning subscriber, welcome back. If you're new here, welcome to the family. So today's video, I did this blush, right? So, you know, my last video was a blush video. Yes, it was. But this is a more recent find. This is a more recent launch by e.l.f. It's their Camo Blush. And I had to try it because, you know, I love my Rare Beauty blushes, and I was like, okay, like this seems to be a dupe, right? They seem to have all the color families that the Rare Beauty ones have, or most of them. I'm not gonna say all, but most of them. So let's test it out and let me give you my thoughts on it, right? So I picked it up, I'm wearing it now. This side, I just have the Rare Beauty blush on its own, and then this side, I did set it with a different blush, a powder blush, just to see how it would wear, if it would wear well, if it wouldn't, you know, did I have any like weird, you know, reactions or anything like that. Well, not reactions, but did I have any issues? And I like both. The dewy side, of course, is giving more summer, more effortless glam, and then you have this side, which, you know, it's beautiful as a matte finish. So I really like that about it. And yeah, let's get into the video and let's do my words. Let's have a little chit chat as well. I was going to just go ahead and do my base off camera and then come on and talk to you guys. But while I was doing my makeup, I thought about this video that I had come across more recently, and it was, you know how you see reels and such, and it was talking about like wrong way, right way to do your makeup. And it got me to thinking about that, and just, you know, of course, we've always heard like there are no rules to makeup, you know, because it is an art form, it's helping you to be creative and the like. But they got me to thinking about, it made me think just, you know, how many rules that we put on as far as just life goes, and, you know, what's right and what's wrong. And, you know, even when it comes to something as free as makeup, as, well, not as free, I'm trying to gather my thoughts here, but as something that is supposed to be a creative space as makeup, that we're told like, oh, that's the wrong way, or, you know, that's not the right way. And honestly, I think the best answer to that question is figuring out what works for you. And that's really like a life lesson, right? I was having a conversation earlier with my friend, and, you know, I do have a birthday coming up, and we were talking about that. And, you know, it's just like we get so bogged down with this is the quote unquote right way. But I think we all need to just identify within our choices, like, what's going to work for me as opposed to what is working for society. Because it may work for society, but it may be horrible for you. You know, it may be catastrophic for you. So figuring out what is going to work best for you, as opposed to, and how it's going to best serve you, as opposed to like, oh, this is how you're supposed to do it, or this is what quote unquote the proverbial they are doing, because they may be doing it that way, and then when you try it, it doesn't work for you at all. In fact, it's doing the opposite of working for you. It's causing turmoil. It's causing, you know, issues for you. So even something as far as your makeup, you know, I think building a routine of what works for you, but doing that is, you know, experimentation and finding out like, oh, you know, like some people's like, you have to start with brows, and then after you do your brows, I came across, like I said, the video, it's like right and wrong, and then it says, well, if you're a makeup artist and you do eyes last, it's just showing just how inexperienced you are. Well, it depends. It really depends on the artist, because sometimes, you know, they do eyes first, just in case. Most of the time, if you have fallout, you can clean it up a little easier than if you have, you know, a full, you know, face on. But some people work faster doing their base first and then going back with the eyeshadow, because that takes more time, right? And then, you know, they can take time on that and they're not messy with the eyeshadow. They know that, like, oh, you know, when I apply it, it's not going to be everywhere, so I'm confident, or, you know, like, I can make it work. I think we get into a dangerous space when we say this is the absolute only way that you can do it, because it's not, you know, and that's just life. It's not. It's, you know, it's not. And we've learned that so many times, just like there are really no absolute right and wrong ways, because sometimes we come across like, oh, well, we thought this was always the right way, right? And then you try it or you attempt it, and then somebody comes along and they're like, no, it's different, or try it this way. And I was actually having a conversation more recently with my best friend, and we were talking about, you know, like, things surrounding babies, right? Just even like how things change from year to year, from, you know, even something that was maybe a practice with, like, within like the last couple of years may be different. And, you know, how, like, even from your generation, of your parents' generation to yours, and you are, you know, raising children, and, you know, what was said, like, oh, the baby's supposed to sleep this way. No, they can't sleep that way. They have to sleep this way. So even, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, things, as we progress, as time progresses, we learn different things, and, you know, we are more equipped. So we learn, like, oh, what we thought was an absolute, oh, this can only work this way. We learned that, you know, no, there are other ways that it can work as well. And that's what I'm saying. All this stemmed from me just thinking about how people react and tell you what, they put limits on you, and they put you in a box, and they say what you can and cannot do. And it really has more to do with their self-limiting beliefs than it does with you. And the sooner you learn that, the better off you are. I remember I was watching this interview with Jay-Z, and he was saying that, you know, like, his uncle told him, like, well, how are you gonna sell 1 million records? And he said, you know, like, I don't know, I'm gonna figure it out. And he was like, now he can say he sold 1 million records so many times over, but at the time, it seemed like the most daunting task. And, you know, his uncle believed, like, well, that's impossible. And I just say that to say, what may be impossible for you may not always be impossible for me. And that's just a word to live by, because I serve a God that makes all things possible, okay? And, you know I can do all things through Christ. So with that said, like, you know, you may have beliefs of what's possible, and you may put those limits on yourself, but maybe I don't live by that standard. I don't live by those beliefs that, you know, oh, I can't have it, or I can't, or that's not feasible for me. And you do, and that's fine. But don't project that onto me. But I've been rambling for the last couple of 7 minutes about that. Okay, so we are here to try. I have another blush, but it's the e.l.f. Camo Liquid Blush, and this is in the shade Gorge Orange. It comes packaged like this. I think this can be compared to, again, the Rare Beauty blushes. It's really pretty. And someone actually did like a side-by-side. Unfortunately, I could not find them, all the shades in store. I was only able to find this shade, which sucks, but I really was like, okay, well, I don't have an orange blush, so gonna pop this on. And we know from experience, and especially because it's a liquid blush, a little dab will do ya. We don't need a lot. Okay, so I can add more. Let's add more. Okay, what I will say about this is kind of like the Juvia's Place blushes. I do see more of a sheen, and I know with the Rare Beauty blushes, they come in a matte and a more or less like a formula that does have a sheen. So that's one difference that I noticed right away. Pretty. I can't say that. I will say you do have to build it up a little bit. So, I mean, that's good in the sense that, you know, at first swipe, you're not like, whoo, having to deal, but it is pretty, and I think this will really be pretty come summertime. It'll really be nice. So I haven't put on my powder yet, my setting powder for under my eyes, so let me go and do that, and that'll kind of mesh in there. Gorgeous. That is gorgeous. I actually like it. I mean, e.l.f. has done a pretty good job with duping, if that's how you want to say it, but with recreating formulas, but they are vegan still, they're cruelty free, you know, but they are okay. So that was the word I was looking for. I've seen them in a matte and a dewy finish, and this does say long lasting color and dewy finish, so it does explicitly say it on there. So if you are looking for more, which I feel like if it's a dewy product, you can matte it down, just use some translucent powder, but I do like it. Let me go ahead and finish up the rest of my face, and then I will come back and tell you my final thoughts. I like the blush, I do. I usually set my liquid blushes or cream blushes with a powder, and I do have this this one by Juvia's Place. It's in the first volume, volume 1, and I have this like kind of orangish color. So let's do one side with setting it with the one side setting it and one side without. So I'm going to set this side with it, and let's just check and see how it layers, because you know that's another thing I like to do when I'm introducing new products into my makeup kit. I want to see how they work with the products that I already own, because the worst thing to do or to have happen is to have something that you are really excited to try, and then you try it and it doesn't work with your current makeup, unless you are just doing a complete overhaul of all your makeup. But you don't want to have things that, you know, like, oh, I can't use it with this, I can't use it with that. So you want it to work well with your other products. You want them to place nicely together. So that's one thing that I do look for and this lipstick is turning more more on the like purplish side. I think I should have left it without the gloss. Yeah, I think I should have left it matte. What are our thoughts? Let me know in the comments down below if you like it or if you think like, it's okay. I honestly think for the price point, it does a really good job. It is comparable to my Rare Beauty one. I will say that it seems like the Rare Beauty one was more pigmented just at first, you know, like douse of the product. Like you could use a little bit of product. With this, I did have to build it up some. So, which can be a good thing. Like once you started to blend it out, it really sheared out, which can be a good thing, just depending on what you're looking for. If you want a product that you're able to work with a lot easier, I would suggest the e.l.f. one. But the Rare Beauty, like I said, I love those. I really enjoy them. But you do have to build this product up a bit for it to get the color payoff that you're looking for. But I don't think it's a bad product. It does have a dewy finish. As you can see, it gives like a nice little sheen at the end of the look. So I do like that about it. And I do think it sets well, or it layers well with my powdered blush. It didn't do anything crazy, so I appreciate that as well. I do appreciate that I believe it was $7. It's either $7 or $9, but it does have a really good price point. I picked mine up at Ulta. I've heard that they do have them at Target as well, so I'm gonna be checking Target because I do want to know, like, hey, if they have any other colors, because I really like the hot pink color and I wanted to try that one. But again, like I said, they only had the orange color available. They were like basically. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you haven't already and you're new here, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. I would love to have you a part of my Making Yvonne TV family as we journey on. And you know, we're almost at 200 subscribers. Can we get to 200 subscribers by my birthday? We'll see. So go ahead and hit the subscribe button. I would love to have you. Also, go ahead and comment down below. Let me know if you have any thoughts about the blush, or if you have any, you know, like suggestions or anything like that. I really do like it. I like how it looks set with the powder, and I like how it looks without it being set just as a dewy finish. It does give like a soft sheen, so I really do like both of the finishes. It does proclaim to be a dewy finish, and I like that about the product because then I can work with them in different ways. Like I can make it work. I can make it a little bit more matte if I choose to, or I can give me that, you know, lit within glow look if I don't choose to set it with powder. But yes, thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Mwah! Bye!